Welcome back to another video. My name is Henrik and today we're going to be looking at the wonderful Kia EV6 GT. This is the most powerful Kia that you can currently buy. 585 horsepower, 740 newton meters, 3.5 seconds, 0 to 100. Well, we're going to check out all of that. We're going to see what the difference is between the GT line and the GT. Lots of technology stuff that we're going to talk about while we're driving and in general design-wise. This car is going to start at 72,990 euros. Full house of this car is going to cost you 76,080 euros. That's due to the fact that you can only have two extras, which is ventilated seats and also a panoramic window on the top, which is the only option. Otherwise, you get everything, basically a Maxo GT line on top of the 800 or 585 horsepower. This car is going to be on the eGMP platform, so also the same platform as the EV6. Obviously, it's the same car with just more power. In the front, you cannot really tell that this is a GT because there's not anything different to compare to the GT line. The only thing that is different to basically the normal EV, so if you want to, for instance, get the normal EV without the GT line, you have the different front design, you have aerodynamic features in here, so you have active aero down there. You have full matrix LED lights as well, which are okay. They're not the best compared to some other competitors, but they look pretty nice, and at night they do illuminate fairly well and also blend out the oncoming traffic. The red color on here is going to be the runway red metallic color, which looks really nice. On the GT line that we had a year ago, we had the gray, like matte color, which also looked pretty cool. Oh, the punch is insane! But the value is not. 3.79, which is still insane, and it's floppy as my grandpa. This is an well, it's not as crazy as you might think, but 3.79 is still a very, very good value. We'll do one more while on our way back and see if we can maybe get it a little bit better. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin there. 3.78, 0.0 or 0.01 slower, faster. Okay, well, he got down to, what was it, 3.68?
Yeah,
something around there. So you can definitely get it close, and if you have better conditions and a little bit of a better track surface, then definitely 3.5 is doable. And the punch is still insane, and this thing is just... On the side, the silhouette of this car is just phenomenal. Like I said, it's on the eGMP platform, therefore you have a fairly wide wheelbase of 2.90 meters, which allows for a lot of room in the interior, especially in the back. And this car is also going to be a crossover SUV. So the dimensions are going to be same as the normal EV6, 4 meters and 69 long. It's going to be meter and 54 tall and also a meter and 89 wide without the side mirrors extended. The wheels on here, these are different. So you are going to have these only on the GT variant. You can see you have the neon disc brakes in there. I wouldn't personally choose them with the color. You cannot change the color of them. They're always going to be in that neon color because that's what the GT line wants. And you also have these 5 spoke rims, which are nice, and they're on the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, 255s on the front and also in the rear, so fairly small ones, but that's what you get from an electric car. Audi e-tron GT that we had 275s or 285s on the rear, so a little bit bigger on there. You can see we do have aerodynamic, like excite door caps in here, so you can plop them in, and they're obviously going to lower your CV value, 0.28 CV value, so a fairly low one. Like I said, the silhouette on this car is amazing. You have these connected lines, like imaginary lines going through here. Up here, everything is connected with the roof spoiler. So a very nice looking design, in my opinion. The only thing that I don't really like is the side mirrors. They're very, very bulky and not looking the greatest. So unlike in the front, you do have a couple of different things in the back which show that it is a GT line, not a GT line. The GT variant gets, for instance, a big feature. In the diffuser down here, you get a couple of, I don't know what you call them, ribbons? No, not ribbons, but you get like these stripes in there. You can definitely point out that those are GT, that's a GT car. The other thing that you get, if we look on the side here, on the normal GT line, you get one horizontal line of the reflectors. Here you get 2 vertical lines, and also maybe this fake diffuser. I'm not too sure if that's on the GT line. So wow, that's some big changes. But why has Kia not really changed anything in the design wise? Well, the GT line already looks so sporty and won so many awards that they decided, well, we don't really need to change anything. Never fix a working design. Never change a working product, never change a working... Yeah, I'm very good with those words. You also have a towing capacity of 1.8 tons. This is going to open automatically. In here, 460 liters up to 480 liters up to 460 160 liters up to 1,280 liters. There we go. Thank you, my cameraman. You can see we can flip over the rear seats. We do have a tunnel going through the center, but you cannot fold over the middle seat. You do also have a little bit of storage space down here, but not too much. And under there is a Meridian sound system, so your just your sound system. This is also for your vehicle to load, meaning you can plug this in on the side. I think it works. If I open this, we can plug that in there on the other side, and it is gonna allow you to basically have use any home device that you want. If you open this on the bottom, it's a little bit hard to open. Let's see if I can get it to open. Yeah. There we go. It's basically just a normal plug that you find at home, so you can plug anything in there and you want to charge. You can even put a fridge on there, so you can have a fridge while you're going out camping. That's not really camping anymore, but that's what you get. Let's talk about the battery and its charging speed. That's the only critique point I'm going to have about this car, is that it is only a 77.4 kilowatts an hour battery and you are able to use 72.5 of it. It is still a big battery, but for this car, a fairly small one, and definitely a bigger one would have been nice to get a little bit more range. WLTP claims 428 kilometers of range. Realistically around 340, 360, something around there. If you're driving fully economically and only in the city, you're definitely going to get more. But still, you're going to be able to charge this car at a DC with an 800 volt charging station at a max speed of 240 kilowatts, which is very quick. And that's going to allow you to go from 10 to 80% in around 18 minutes. We just did a charging test. We did one yesterday on a 350 kilowatts charging point, and one here at a 300. We charged from, I think, 20% up to 83 now. That took us a total of 17 minutes. From 20 to 80, it took us around 15 minutes. The average speed we had was 180.7, so very quickly, with a max speed of 231.7. The total energy that we charged was 53.45 kilowatts an hour, which is really quick, and that is very nice. The max voltage we were able to also get was almost at 800, so very, very quickly. So I think we started with, what did you say, 50 kilometers of range, something around there? And now we're at around 300, so 14 minutes, and you're back up to driving on the Autobahn for another 200, 230 kilometers, which is really, really nice. Yeah. Because we are on the eGMP platform, you can see we have a ton of space. With a wheelbase of 2 meters and 90, you can just tell, look at this. This is adjusted to me in the front, 1.80 m, 5'11". A whole nother elephant can fit between me and the front seat, which is amazing. Because it is obviously an electric vehicle, the battery being under the floor, the thighs here is not going to be the best support, but with that legroom, you can easily go down and it's just really, really comfortable. Plenty of space in the back as well. You got 2 USB-Cs in here. You also got heated seats. You also have your own, what is going on now? You have climate control on the side. You cannot change the temperature, but you can change the amount of air that's coming to you. You also have adjustable seats, so you can, like you can see, I can adjust them to this, or I can fold them back to have a little bit more of a comfortable seating position, and it does really feel luxurious in here now. We do also have a center tunnel in here too, well, not a cup holder, but you can flip that out, so you have 2 cup holders in there. Woo! And then we can also put this down, and we have a pass-through tunnel in there, which is really, really nice. The other thing that you do get is down here, you get a full outlet, so you can plug your laptop in, for instance. So when you're sitting in the inside and you're trying to drive sporty, you can see we have a definite change in here because that's the GT button. If we press that, everything comes together and you get 585 horsepower with also ESC off. So you're gonna have to be driving a little bit more careful if you are not used to having 585 horsepower behind your back. Well, not behind your back, but there are a couple of things that has changed compared to the EV6 GT line, or just in general the EV6. For instance, we have a new design or new technology in the rear motor, which now produces 63% more power for a complete 367 horsepower in that rear motor, and that thing can also turn up to 21,000 RPMs per minute, which is, or RPMs, revolutions per minute, already in the name, which is quite insane. And one thing you definitely notice in this car is the way they've redone the stabilization arms in this. They now have, for the stabilization arms, the lower stabilization arms, they have 2 different arms in here instead of 1, which really limits your lateral and vertical movement in here and just makes this car stick to the ground so nicely. We do have the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires on here, meaning it's obviously going to be a little bit more sticky to the ground or to the road. But wow, does this thing stick to the ground. And if you're in the GT mode, especially, we're gonna go uphill now, and we're at 90 kilometers an hour, and then whoa, that push is just amazing. We are at 30% battery or 33% battery, so we are limited a little bit less with the power, I think, because we just did a 0 to 100 test and it was a little bit less. There are a couple of other things that they did change. For instance, you have a new hairpin technology design in the rear motor, which basically allows you to have more or a better acceleration at higher speeds, and also helps with the cooling of the battery, which is also changed now because they have previously the rear motor had the motor housing for it was air or water cooled. That is now on top of that. You now also get an oil cooling for your stators in there, or your stator, that's what they're called, which definitely helps as well if you're going at higher speeds. Which is going to help you get more temperature out of the car, or keep the batteries at a good temperature so you can go further and not overheat the batteries. So quite a lot of things in there. Also, the suspension they have changed. In the front it is now 9% less stiff, and in the rear it's 11% stiffer, and therefore the car is just going to be a little bit more sportier feeling. You also have a 49% in the rear to 51% weight distribution, which is also a fairly nice one, almost 50-50. With that battery in the center, 487 kilograms is, oh, that was a a big fly that I just hit there. You're gonna have a very nice center of gravity as well. One thing you definitely notice in here is also, it is really quiet in here. You can only hear wind noises. It's a little bit windy outside, so it's a little bit more wind noise right now, but it is really quiet in here, which is really nice. They definitely also worked on that. Hey, look at that, same color. Boop, boop. She even waved. Nice, because I gave her a light flicker. One thing you also get is the chassis is 5 millimeters lower to the ground, which you definitely feel, and you can also hear lane assist kicking in all the time. Or you don't feel it's 5 millimeters lower, but that's just a fact that I wanted to point out. But what I found amazing is that you also have drift mode in here. We haven't tested because we don't have a closed course, but what I've seen is it's quite amazing. And the way you put it on is you put into GT mode, you hold the ESC button for more than 3 seconds until it's completely off, and then you also put the pedals, your regeneration pedals or recuperation pedals, hold them together, both of them, for 3 seconds, and you turn on drift mode. That's going to allow 100% of the power to go into the rear wheels, so 585 horsepower on the rear wheels. And I've seen that it is just insane. Electric cars are always a little bit harder to drift, and this definitely looks the way on this, because it is just interesting the way, like I've seen it on closed course, it just, woo, it drifts amazingly, and it just looks really fun to drive. You're definitely gonna have to change the tires after it, but still, I wouldn't mind doing it. A lot more has changed in the interior compared to the exterior. In the interior, like I already mentioned, you get the new steering wheel, you get GT on the side there, you get bucket seats, which are really nice. They're not electrically changeable, so you are just gonna be having to do it manually, but they feel really nice. Kia definitely focused on getting these to be more comfortable over long journeys, and also being very sporty, and they definitely feel amazing. They have a very nice design. I love the neon touches in here as well, especially on the bucket seats itself. It looks really, really nice. You get plenty of space in the interior. The steering wheel does also feel very nice. Could have been maybe a little bit of a different design. I'm just not the biggest fan of the general design of it. It looks a little bit funky, but I really love that GT button on here. And one thing you definitely notice if you're sitting in here, the way this car also drives in the city and how practical it is. It is really nice to drive. It's elegant to drive. It's just relaxing to drive. The suspension might be a little bit stiffer than a normal EV6, but it is really comfortable to drive through city as well. If you're going over bumps and you have a very bumpy road, yeah, you're going to be lacking a little bit, or it's going to be a little bit more hard on your bum compared to the normal EV6, but still, you get, this thing is just so diverse and able to drive nicely in the city, cruise around, and then being able to just punch it out on the highway, or if you're trying to go some more country roads. It is really, really nicely balanced, this car, which I really love. Aerodynamic wise, this car does have a CV value of 0.28, so you are going to get a very good, well, not very good, but a fairly good consumption. WLTP claims 20.8 kilowatts an hour combined. In the city, we've been getting around 15.9. You can even get lower if you're driving in full one pedal drive. We've been only driving on the level 1, so the lowest, other than basically having it completely turned off. But you're going to be averaging that if you're going on the Autobahn, 130, around 22, 25, somewhere right around there, so a little bit higher. The only thing that I would critique about this car is the battery size. They definitely could have upgraded a little bit more. It came out in 2021, so I can understand that they didn't have the biggest one. We did just have the Opel Mokka that also came out, well, the electric one in 2023 with the updated battery, but 50 kilowatts in 2021, so I can understand if they didn't use the most technology on there. But 77.4 kilowatts now is not the biggest. 426 or 28 kilometers of range. We've been getting around 340. On the Autobahn I got around 100 if I drove completely at max speed all the time, which most of the time you really don't want to do. But I really liked doing it because it's fun. So we do also have a couple of different motor sounds, which are the same as in the normal EV6, but let's try them out, let's try them out, and while we're driving a little bit quicker here. Good job, motor sound is right there. You gotta press on it. So we can put it up, and we're currently in the cyber mode. So if you go into the GT mode here, yeah, it's like a more like a cyberpunk, that's basically what it is, kind of sound. Not bad, not great. I personally not the biggest fan of the sounds anyways. The dynamic does sound the best in my opinion, especially if you're accelerating as quickly, you slow down a little bit. And just look at this punch also, from 30. Oh! And the battery is low, so it is not gonna go full power, but still, that punch is amazing. Yeah, then you also have this one, which, yeah, I really don't like the stylish one. But in general, if you're on the racing track, it might be fun to drive with the sounds on, but in general, nah, I wouldn't turn it on. Yeah. No, but the way this thing grips to the ground, I can't drive too fast through here, but still. It is so fun, and then whoa! Oh my god. The most powerful Kia, and you can definitely feel this, it is just amazing how quick this thing is, and the way it just handles through these corners with all the technology they put into this and the new engineers that they got on this project. It is just so fun to drive this thing. And honestly, the price that you're paying for the amount of fun that you get. Obviously, you do now have the competitor with the Ioniq 5N, and I think that thing might even be a little bit more fun. I don't know what to compare to. It is so fun to drive. I can't, on the top of my head, I can't think of anything with the same horsepower, with the styling of this car, the unique styling of this car, and the capabilities, the practicality on top of this. It is so well done in my opinion. It's such an amazing car. Only thing I would recommend to Kia, put a bigger battery in here. But that would increase the weight, therefore decrease the amount of 0 to 100. So what is my final conclusion on the Kia EV6 GT? Well, fun fact on this car is immense. It is very fun to drive, big rims, design-wise also pretty cool. Neon color depends on what you want to choose with. The red color, definitely I would choose a different color compared to the red one, because neon colors don't fit that very well. Design-wise, this car is unique. It looks good. It drives good. It handles good. Practicality is amazing. Charging speed is amazing. Battery-wise, could have been a little bit bigger. Price point-wise, also in my opinion, very good price point. 71,990 euros for this car is really decent, or 72,990. Really, really nice. And just look at the design in the back. Really unique design in the back. Well, let me know what you guys think of the car. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you are, or if you're new here to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.